Do you believe the earth is round or flat? Holy shiznick! I just had the most mind-melting, mind-blowing conversation with Flat Earth Dave. I can't say anything else. You have to watch this freaking shit. And I want you to actually click below and tell me what you think. And if you have, discovered this, or if you have like done any research, or why you believe what you believe. Y'all. Okay. Let's just go. Let's go.
Go.
So, Dave, I am so glad you're here on Straight Talk. I have no freaking clue what you're going to talk about, but I know that you told me not to do any research, just to be here. And I'm telling you, I don't know what the freak we're going to talk about today, Dave, but welcome to Straight Talk. How are you?
I'm doing great. And I just want you just remember this day and time, because your life will never be the same after this podcast.
I don't know. My brain hurts already.
It's a lot of work. But here's the thing. I got to tell you something. You are way smarter than they want you to believe. You have common sense. You have the ability to think, but they've tried to wean that out of you. In school, they never taught you to think. They taught you to memorize and regurgitate, right?
Yes.
And if a guy has a lab coat and a pocket protector and a degree, then you're like, oh my God, that's truth. And you store that as truth. I live in Connecticut. So in 10 minutes from now, if I say, where do I live? You would say Connecticut. And I would say, do you know that, or do you believe it? Right? Because you stored it as true information because, hey, why would he lie? It sounds like he's from Connecticut. He's got a little bit of a New York accent, blah, blah, blah. Right? And, but that's how we go through life. We store information and we judge it. I'm the president of the United States. Did you know that? Right? Now, what did I say? I said I was the president of the United States. You stored that as false information. Right? That's what we do all the time. We're storing information, true or false. We store it. We remember it, we recall it, and we put value on it. Well, we're taught that the stuff that we read in the Rockefeller-funded textbooks is the truth. I could write the book of BS. You could study it. You can test it. I can test you on it. You get 100%, and I give you a degree. You're certified in BS, and now when you talk BS with anybody, they can't question you because you got a degree. They don't.
Oh my gosh! I mean, like that's like the deceiving playbook, right? I mean, I don't want to get into politics, but let's be real. That is the deceiving playbook. That's what they do. I forgot who was talking about it. I don't remember if it was Nancy Pelosi or one of them were talking about the fact that if you just tell a lie, you tell the media, they spread the lie, then the lie gets believed. And I'm like, yep, that sounds about right. Right, Dave?
So the I forget the guy's name. Is the head of the CIA. He made a statement many years ago that said, once everything the American public believe is a lie, our job will be complete. And I was like, everything? It can't be everything. It is everything. It's literally everything, right? It's everything. Right? If you went to like
I'm starting to see that actually in my life.
Like if you went to a concert or whatever, you're in a big field and there's thousands of people, thousands and thousands, and 5 of them were good people and the rest were crap, shitheads. Am I allowed to swear? I'll try not to swear.
Yeah, you can swear. You can swear.
All right. And you would say everyone's a shithead, okay? Right? Even though there's 5 good people there, right? You would
Yeah, you generalize.
Everything is a lie. Everything. Right. There might be a couple of things that aren't, right? One thing that's not a lie is the only thing to fear is fear itself. That is the biggest truth of all. Fear, false evidence appearing real, is how they control us. And so how does that relate to the shape of the earth? And then one of the things people will immediately say is, of course we know the earth is a globe. Science. What science? Well, all the scientists, they can't all be in on it. No, they're not all in on it. There are some that are. And when you start looking and we're going to take away all of the reasons that you think you believe, because you really don't have any reasons that the earth is a globe, you throw your hands up and you go, what difference does it make? I still have to go to work on Monday.
Right.
Right? That's a pre-programmed response.
But Dave, I mean, the attack would be, you are a science denier, Dave. You are a science denier. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right? Science. So here's the thing. They say flat earthers are science deniers, but in fact, we actually use the scientific method. Observable, repeatable, testable, but they use pseudoscience. Everything about the heliocentric model, the globe model, is pseudoscience. It's absolute pseudoscience. We're going to go over it.
One of the things, my brain is trying to buckle in. My brain is buckling
buckle in. But let me tell you something. Nothing I say today is going to be out of your ability to understand. You just have to. I'm going to make you use your brain today because think about how much people use their brains. They get up, they go to work, they do their job. That's really it's easy. They watch sports, they watch movies. That's entertainment. Entertain is to hold the mind. Right. And they obey rules, but people aren't actually thinking. I know. They're not actually thinking, right? And so you go, well, flat Earth. Let me Google flat Earth, and you get a picture of the Earth like this, right? Yeah. This is what they want you to think flat Earth is. Nobody thinks flat Earth is that. Nobody thinks flat Earth is that, right? This is the flat Earth, right? This is a balloon at 120,000 feet, right? You have to believe that the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour below you, right? So this balloon was up there for 3.5 hours. The Earth is spinning to the east, right? Because if the sun's there, you spin to the east and the sun would rise at 1,000 miles an hour. So that balloon should land like 3,000 miles out to the west, but it landed 80 miles to the east. So it went up. It sped up because when you go high, I always wondered, why do planes fly so high? Because when they're higher, they have to make a bigger circle. They have to travel farther, right? Because if you're flying close to the Earth, you have a smaller circle. If you're up here, you got to go farther, right? Well, they go up high because they can go faster, and it's a straight line. There is no Earth curvature. So, this sun right here, let's say you were born today, not even yesterday. You're born today, all right? And I would say, is this light right above this part of the land that's got a hot spot on it? It's a little darker over here, so it's kind of close to there. Or is it 93 million miles away? Right. It's right there. What? It's right there. They tell us it's 93 million miles away. And if we get into how they figured that out, it's pseudoscience. It's absolute and total pseudoscience. Right. So, what? Go ahead. No. Go ahead. My brain is just like, okay, so then it goes back to a more nefarious thing. Why lie? Hey, you know what? I tell people, I actually rate you or judge you. I'm rating and judging on how fast you get to the why the lie, because that means you're intelligent, right? Because but here's the thing, and I'm not going to answer that yet, because I'm going to answer it. It's my favorite question of all. Because if you walked into a room, I have to come up with a better example. It's always horrible. You walk into a room, there's a whole bunch of dead people, right? They're all just hacked, murdered to death, right? You don't walk in there and go, I don't believe it. Why would someone do this? You look at the dead bodies and then you figure out the motive later. Exactly. There's actual dead bodies. Today I'm going to show you all the dead bodies. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's do it. All right. So this also, are we the only pancake planet? Are the other planets pancakes? And you've never seen a planet other than what Disney and NASA shows you. And one of them is less credible than the other. And I would say that would be NASA. Okay. Disney is more credible is what I'm saying. Really? Yeah, Disney's more credible. They work hand in hand. So remember how they taught us the solar system goes? We got the sun and the Earth goes around the sun, right? Yep. Right? And all the planets go around the sun, right? Yep. And so they don't point out that the sun is also moving. So we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, orbiting at 66,000 miles an hour, and we're chasing the sun at 500,000 miles per hour. Now, all of these directions are curved directions because the standard programmed response is, well, you don't feel the motion. Like I can drink a glass of water and go to the bathroom on an airplane, right? That's what's in everyone's head. Everyone was programmed to say that. I say, okay, if you want to compare the motion of an airplane to the slowest motion here, which would just be the spin of the Earth, you have to double the speed to 1,000 miles an hour. You have to remove the outer shell of the airplane because the Earth doesn't have an outer shell. And you have to nosedive at 1 mile per minute just to follow the curve. Otherwise, you're going to fly off into space. Do you think you would feel any of those motions? Right? Yes, of course. So this is the hypersonic sled track by NASA. Watch, it's going to go by at Mach 8.6. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Didn't even see it. Right? Right. You can't fathom that speed. Right? Let me show you a side view of that. Watch it again one more time. Right. If you look this up on YouTube with the sound, it's shocking as the shock wave, right? So this is it going sideways. Watch. It's just so fast. You can't. So you have to believe that the Earth is a lumpy, rocky ball surrounded by smooth, curved water, which no one's ever seen the curve, surrounded by high pressure air adjacent to a void of no pressure called space, a vacuum.
Right.
All of this defies every law of physics, all laws of science, the second law of thermodynamics. You can't have high pressure next to no pressure or low pressure without a container, right? Mm-hmm. And so first you have to just jump that hurdle. We're on a ball that defies all laws of physics. It's basically the ball is in Narnia. And we're spinning and turning in all these different motions at once. But when we go out into nature, we see lakes like this while we're doing this. Right?
Right.
We see bodies of water like that. Let's say you're in a beautiful, perfect car on the smoothest, straightest road ever, and you get a dinner, you're going 100 miles an hour, just 100 miles an hour, right? And you fill the dinner plate with water. If that car speeds up, slows down, or takes the slightest turn, what happens to the water?
It splashes.
It's gone. It's just gone. It's just gone. But out in nature, the natural world, where science happens, we have perfect flat mirrors, not curved mirrors.
Right.
Give us perfect reflections. And it's not moving.
That is so interesting.
Yeah, it gets more interesting. So can you have, I say large bodies of the people, the globers like to go, what about a raindrop? A raindrop is round, right? Can you have a large body of water? When I say large body of water, anything bigger than a gallon of water or bigger without a container?
No.
Can you?
No.
Yeah, you can't. If you want to take a bath and the side of the tub was missing, sorry. If the side of your pond or lake was missing. So.
But wait.
Go ahead.
I got a question. If then I guess my brain says, okay, so then if the Earth is flat, wouldn't the water run off? Or how is the water contained?
There you go.
I'm really curious about this, and I still want to go. I can't wait for you to get to the part of the nefarious part, because I know there's a reason we're not being told.
There's a reason. There's a reason.
But so is there? Okay. There's so many questions.
Yeah. Listen, just we'll go one at a time. And listen, people like to give me questions ahead of time, and I'm like, nope, no questions ahead of time. So this is the average elevation of all the continents in the world. This one is Antarctica.
Oh, okay. The one nobody ever goes to.
Well, actually, we have three people that are going there tomorrow.
Okay.
But it's over double the average height of the second highest continent. So that might be our container. Think about this. The world is a pond. We live in a pond.
Okay.
And the shoreline of our pond is Antarctica. It's the highest land on Earth. It's the container of our pond.
Okay.
Right? So they tell us that Antarctica is a continent at the bottom of the world.
Right.
Right? And they say it's 10 to 13. They can't even tell us. 10 to 13,000 miles around. Let's give them 13. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. All right? And no one is allowed to independently explore there.
Yeah, that's why I said nobody ever goes there, but I guess they do.
Well, you can go there, but on a guided tour, you're not allowed to explore by yourself. You're not allowed to independently explore. Meanwhile, right now they're telling us that there's 3 people actually hiking across Antarctica. There's a big publicity psyop coming on to scare people away from even considering flat Earth. But the 3 people that are walking across are doing it independently by themselves. And the only way compasses don't work down there, magnetic compasses don't work because they're too far from the north. The north is where the magnetic center is. And the farther out you go, the south doesn't work. On a ball, compasses shouldn't work on the equator because they'd be pulled between the North Pole and the South Pole because we're on a ball. But in the south, compasses don't work because they're too far from the north. So they're just going by GPS data.
Okay.
And And the GPS is run by NASA. Hopefully we have time to get into NASA. NASA is not a space agency, nothing but a straight answer. And
so Dave, what is outside then of the wall?
Great question. Okay. And the answer is we can speculate, and there's lots of evidence. But you don't need to go beyond Antarctica to prove that the Earth is flat. Great question. What's beyond Antarctica? One of my favorite topics to talk about. And all the photos of Antarctica are CGI. They're all just CGI photos. They're all just cartoons. It's weird, kind of weird. And you can't measure Antarctica on Google Earth because it inverts it, right? So what if the world was like this, right? So this is our pond, right? And in the pond, right, we got our North Pole, so we have a magnetic mountain in the north, so all our compasses will point to it, right? If you want to go west would be a circle. Okay. And it would bring you right back to where you're going, right? I'll show you that circumnavigation in a second. But what they did is, so the question is, what's out here beyond this shoreline, right? So, but this is what they did. They took our world and they cut it out, okay? And they wrapped it around a sphere. And they said, you're not allowed to go here because of the ice and the penguins. We can't disturb the ice and the penguins, right? But we'll take you to a little island right here called Deception Island, right? No one's allowed to explore the center of Antarctica because there is no center. It's the outer lands, the outer space, right? It's the outer space. So that's what they did. And how would you know? Unless you can go out here and explore, you would never know.
Right.
Right? So when you say fall off the edge, let's address that for a second. Let's say we go to Kansas and we have a lake that's 200 miles across. That's a gigantic lake, a circular lake, 200 miles across. At the very center of the lake is 100 miles from the shore is a magnetic mountain, right? Big, giant neodymium magnetic mountain. So you're on a boat and you're 50 miles from the shore. 50 miles, you're not going to see the center. You're not going to see the shoreline because perspective is just going to limit your view. You're going to feel like you're in the middle of the ocean. Your compass is going to point towards the middle of that lake. And you're going to say, okay, well, let me go. And there's islands. All those islands, we'll just call them, we'll call those continents, right? So I'm just trying to pull up, where is my circumnavigation? There it is. So you're on this lake, and here's our compass. It's pointing towards the magnetic center, and I'm trying to push it west. And I have to keep turning to keep my setting at 290 or 270 west. Right? Because the needle's always pointing to center. So I wouldn't even know that I'm turning. If you were on a racetrack that was 50 miles a circle, you'd feel like you're driving straight.
Straight.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now I'm going 90 degrees east and I go all the way around and I come right back to where I started from. And the thing is, this is the same on a globe or a flat earth, right? If you were a mile from the North Pole on a globe earth, right? 1 mile from the North Pole. So you got a string, a rope tied to the North Pole. Yep. Right. So you got to stay equidistant from the North Pole to go west, and you're going to make a big circle. 6.28 miles later, you're back to where you started from. I think that's the math. Right. Right. So here, if we dead reckon, which means we're going to say, okay, my compass says west is this direction, and I'm going to just lock my steering wheel in that direction, I'm heading south immediately.
Right. Okay.
I'm heading south because every direction away from the center is south. If you and I were standing on either side of this pole with our backs to it, and we started walking away in opposite directions, we'd both be going south. And that's the same on a globe too. Right? Right. So if I go south, I'm gone. I'm never coming back. If I went from Santiago, from South America, Chile, south, I should end up in Australia. But nobody's ever done that. Right? Now, if I'm going north, and now I'm going south. As soon as I pass the North Pole, I'm going south. So that's south, that's south, that's south, and that's south. South is every direction. Right?
Right.
This is the most complicated thing I said, and you can handle this. You are not. Here's the thing. they make it so complicated. People go, I don't have a degree. That guy's smart. He's got a degree. He memorized and regurgitated everything. So he's smarter than me, right? You're not stupid. It's stupid. No. That's why you can't figure it out.
I've never been impressed by that anyway.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay. So are we then, is there a space? Is there a space? Are we floating? Like, what is happening right now?
So that's a great question. So let's talk about what's below us, right? So the deepest hole ever dug is, ready for this, less than 8 miles. Right? It's called the Kora borehole in Russia. The deepest they've ever gone is 8 miles. So while they're digging
8 miles,
7.8. Okay.
Okay.
So they were digging this hole and they were using ground penetrating radar to see what they're going to hit next. And it said, okay, there's no more rocks, and they hit more rocks. Okay, there's no more water, and they hit more water. Okay, they were wrong every step of the way. They should have gotten a refund on their radar, right? And then at one point they hit something that was too hard, and they tried to drill through it, diamond bits. They tried to blow it up. They tried everything for years and years and years, and they couldn't, impenetrable. They couldn't get through it, right? And there's something, they put a microphone down there. I don't even like talking about it because I heard those noises and I wasn't there. Who knows? But my skin is crawling right now. The sounds you heard, it sounded like hell, right? It's like, but that doesn't prove anything. It's just the really creepy, weirdest thing ever, right? So let's put it to scale. If we have a Macintosh apple, and I say Macintosh because it has a very thin skin, they drilled a quarter max of the way through the skin, and they were wrong every step of the way. But then they know the next 4,000 miles to the core, right? So all of this that we've all seen is pseudoscience, right? And check this out. Do you know what the Curie point is of a magnet? You probably don't because they don't teach in school. No. When you take any magnet and you heat it, it will lose its magnetism before it melts.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
What do they tell us about the center of the Earth? It's a molten magnet.
Molten magnet, right.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
No such thing. It's pseudoscience. They couldn't tell us what was in the freaking skin of the apple. So they know there's a molten magnet in the center of the Earth.
Right.
And if there's a molten magnet in the center of the Earth, we should have a North Pole and a South Pole.
Right. That's true.
And we don't have a South Pole. We only have a North Pole, and compasses prove that.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. This brings up so many questions, like questions of like, now you start thinking, well, I'm a person of faith, right? So now I start thinking of God and creation, and, how people say that, the earth is billions of years old, yet they can't prove if it's billions of years old or just a couple thousands of years old. And did God create it round? Is it in the middle? Like, there's so many questions, Dave. There's so many questions.
So page 1 of the Bible says God separated the waters from the waters and created the firmament.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And the earth takes shape like clay under a seal.
Mm-hmm.
Pour a little water in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay.
Psalms 19:1. Psalms 19:1 is you know who Werner von Braun is? He was a Nazi scientist that was brought over to run NASA.
Yeah.
Right? And on his gravestone it says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament show us its handiwork." That's all it says.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It just says Psalms 19:1, and that's what Psalms 19:1 says. Why does the head of rocket scientists, rocketry, say that? Right?
Yeah. That's interesting.
Right. And then also, Revelation 1:7, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also, and also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wait because of him. Even so, amen. Everyone sees him at the same time. How does that happen on the globe? Right. And now we had this famous debate in Tennessee with one of our flat earth pastors, and this pastor, Greg Locke from the Global Church.
Church. I know who he is. Yeah.
And he denied everything. There's over 200 scriptures in the Bible that point to a flat earth, none that point to a globe, right? The only one that you can ever quote is Isaiah says the circle of the earth, but a circle is a line on a flat surface, on a plane, where all the points are equidistant from a center point. That's a circle, right?
That is a circle.
The circle of the earth, right? Funny quick story. Dean Odell, our guy, was pointing out the verse that says God scrolled back the heavens and let the waters flood in, and he was talking about opening up the windows of the firmament and letting the great flood happen. And Pastor Odell, Pastor Locke said that's not what it means, and ended up throwing him out and throwing us all out of the church. There was like 3,000 of us there, right?
Wow.
And then a couple of weeks later, God's very funny. It snowed so hard there that his church collapsed.
Oh my God.
It got flattened.
It got flattened.
It collapsed because the sky opened up and let so much water in, it collapsed his church.
Oh my gosh. That is hysterical. He is hysterical.
God is hysterical.
Yes.
Right.
Wow. There's so much here, right? Because it just feels very deceiving and nefarious on purpose. Right. And then you start to question so many things like, is it to deny the existence of God? Because, according to what we know biblically, right, it could be 3,000, 6,000, 10,000 years.
We're going to go there in a second. We're going to go there in a second. So also with all of the math for the heliocentric system, this is just a sample. 6 times 6 times 600 is the circumference of the Earth. 0.666 inches per mile squared. We're orbiting at 66.6 thousand miles per hour. 6 times 6 times 60 nautical miles is the moon. There's so many of these things. It's just, you can be a coincidence theorist, or you can, take a screenshot of that, people. And, or you can say something nefarious is up here, right? And then we got Space Force. Space doesn't exist, but look at this. Flip it upside down. It's freaking Baphomet with the star and everything. It's Baphomet.
Yeah, there's so many of that stuff that I've been seeing lately too, as God has been waking me up more. I'm like, wow.
And
didn't see it.
They do stuff on the space shuttle, on the space station. I think this is the one. Let me just fast forward. He's got, this is like this has got a devil horns, right? But I think is this one where they do the flip? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's 666, right? Because if you take these numbers, it's 6. Everything is always just coincidentally 666. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
It is amazing. And it's more than just in here, right? You'll see it in so many different things. Movies, you'll see it, in politics, you'll see it in so many different things. And I hate to be the conspiracy theorist, but what I've realized is throughout my life, the things that I thought were conspiracy are actually coming true. And I'm like, oh, so it's,
the definition of a conspiracy theorist, the difference between a conspiracy and a fact. About 3 to 6 months.
Okay. Yes.
And a conspiracy theorist is somebody that figures out what's going on before the general public does. I've been doing this for 2 decades now, and everything I've talked about has come true. Everything, unfortunately. Right? Fortunately or unfortunately.
What happened to you?
What happened to me?
Yeah, what happened to you?
As a kid.
How dare you go against the narrative? Like what happened? Was there a moment, or was there something that happened in your life that made you go, wait a minute, something's up?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And if you really look at your life, this universe, this world we live in, this construct is literally constantly trying to give you everything that you think. It's constantly. And if you have the mindset to see, you can really thrive in this world. And so my second earliest memory in school is in kindergarten or first grade, the teacher brought us outside to show us gravity, and he had a bucket of water on a rope and he swung it around. And as a little kid, I said, doesn't the water have to be on the outside? You know, because he had a globe out there with us. I said, look, the water's on the outside of the globe. And the teacher goes like this, goes over and gets his book. And I remember the book, it had like so many highlights in it. It's like, how many people have been highlighting in this book? And he showed me the paragraph and he goes, this is how they tell me to teach it. So that's how I'm going to teach it. Right. And then I went over and played on the swing after that. And I just think that was like a point in my life. Like, people are told to do things and they don't question it. Yeah. So that basically turned me into somebody that just started questioning everything, and you know, and I just didn't want to believe it, and I wasn't raised in any. I was born into a non-practicing or lightly practicing Jewish family, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like anything. I checked out Christianity, I checked out Buddhism, I checked out everything, and I just like, I believe in science. You know, I loved astronomy and everything, and I. You know, embarrassed to say now that I guess I was an atheist, which is the biggest, craziest faith of all. Yeah. And then it wasn't until late in my life when I went to try to prove that the Earth was a globe that I saw that it wasn't. So the shape of the Earth isn't what matters. It's the fact that we're in an intelligent, created world. Yeah. And once I was there, I had no choice but to accept the fact that there was a creator, and then everything changed from there. So, you know, there's a verse in the Bible that basically says, once you see my creation, you can no longer deny my existence. In a heliocentric world, the Big Bang, made up by Jesuit priests, once upon a time, there was nothing. It exploded, became everything. Then the rocks turned into planets, and the gases ignored gas law of expanding and filling the space. They collapsed and created stars that burn for billions of years and have gravity, right? And I believed all that nonsense. Then lightning struck, created an amoeba, right, with DNA. Cool. Right. And it turned into a frog. It turned into a fish, or a fish and then a frog. Climbed out of the water, found another sexy legged fish, and had a monkey, and the monkey had a human, right? This is what they want us to believe. This is the insanity. Okay? It's so stupid.
I never believed that shit, even in school. Never
believed it. You know, and then we talk about the anti-flat earthers, like talking about people from hundreds or thousands of years ago that prove the Earth is a globe. Nobody today. And they like looking up at the lights in the sky. Well, you want to talk about the lights in the sky? First, show me an example where helium and hydrogen can be contained without a container. Because that's what our sun is. It's 98% helium and hydrogen, which defy gravity here on Earth. But somehow helium and hydrogen in space decided to collapse and burn for billions of years, right? They say that the sun burns like 640 billion tons a minute or a day. It doesn't matter, right?
It doesn't matter because it's all made up anyway.
Billions of years. Yeah. And its gravity can hold on to Earth and Saturn and Jupiter and Mars and Pluto, but it ignores our moon, right? So our moon, you know, is coming around the Earth towards the sun. It should speed up a little bit, right? And it goes away. It should be tugged and slowed down, but it doesn't. It goes around beautifully. So the sun's gravity ignores the moon, but holds on to Pluto. The reason you can't figure this out is because it's stupid. You're not stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid.
Okay. So get me unstupid here, Dave, right? Yeah. So let's say we are on this flat earth. You have done a lot of research and this is what it is, right? But I guess what I'm trying to like wrap my head around, because of so many years of bull, is then what is the sun, right? And I guess like, how did God form this? Because are there other planets then? Are we in space? Like, I don't know. Right now, you got me thinking all kinds of stuff. I got to go and research now.
You go out and, well, you got to be careful where you research because they're going to just feed you nonsense. Do you ever go out and look at the stars? You ever see Jupiter in the sky? Right?
I mean,
you probably have because it's the brightest.
But now I don't know if I have.
No, you have. Okay. It's the lightest. It's the brightest luminary up there. It looks like a star, but it's super bright. And the question you have to ask is, they tell us that Jupiter is a burning ball of not a burning ball. It's gas. It's a gas planet, right? Dusty, dirty gas planet, right? And I'm trying to find. I have so what planet would you say this is?
Is that Saturn? I'm not sure.
Is it Saturn or is it Jupiter?
I can't see. Yeah, I think.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, because we're programmed to believe that these are planets. I'm sorry to do this to you because it was done to me. It's actually a meadow with ducks. Okay. Okay. Right. But I'm just showing you when NASA shows you something. When NASA shows you something, you don't know what it is. This is NASA has the largest green screen studio in the world.
Why would you need that? Why would you need that?
Why would they need that? Right. Why would they need it? They have all of these camera tracks going around a fake moon and everything. Like, why would you need that? Why would you need that?
Yeah.
Right. And this is a picture of Jupiter, the 2014 picture that everyone knows. Okay. And then in 2016, they released this picture and they said, look, we can see the northern lights, which means it has a magnetic core, another molten magnetic core, ignoring the Curie point. Okay. So, but if you look, all of the clouds are exactly the same. They're all exactly the same.
It's the same picture with just a little light on the top.
Right. And so this is a time lapse from NASA from years ago. You see the storm that can hold like 50 Earths or 500 Earths or whatever. It's gigantic. Look at all the clouds. They're moving. Now, I forget if this was hours, days, or weeks. Doesn't matter. I showed you pictures that are 2 years apart and no clouds have changed. What does that tell you about NASA? Unwind it. It tells you NASA is full of crap, right? And you can't believe anything that comes from NASA. You can't believe anything that comes from NASA, right? And this is a picture of Saturn. This is a photograph of Saturn. Yeah, but they have no photos of Earth.
What do you mean?
They admit they have no photos of Earth. But if we take this picture of Saturn, we crank it up in Photoshop, we can see that it's just made in Photoshop. It's just layers. Like, how could we took it off their website, and since then they've taken that picture down, redone it, and put it back up. Okay. This is it was done crap. They didn't expect us to be able to do that when they released that picture.
Well, because they're a little bit farther in technology than we are right now, right?
Well, it's way beyond that. We'll get into that in a moment.
Yeah.
This is the latest picture of Pluto. Look at the shape of this area on Pluto. Is that just pareidolia? Is that pareidolia? Is that pareidolia, or am I nuts?
Stop it.
And the name Pluto the dog was named the same year that Pluto is discovered.
Stop it.
Right? But actually, that's not the latest photo. This is now the latest photo. Look at this. What is that? Could you fake that yourself? Right?
It just looks like a painting.
It is a painting. It is. It's stupid is what it is. Right? And then I think this is one of the moons of Jupiter, or I forget. But it's got Mickey Mouse.
Right.
I mean, that one you could say, okay, that's just a coincidence, all right? But there's just too many connections with Disney. This is what NASA shows us, and this is what our consumer optics show us, right? When we look, our consumer optics have outgrown their lies. Here is a picture of video of Mars through just a Nikon P1000 camera. And why are all the planets that used to be called wandering stars named after gods?
Yeah.
Interesting, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, I used to laugh at astrology. Like, how could a planet 25 million miles away or whatever affect, retrograde? How could that affect me? Well, if you look at it, that they're all energetic, angelic, sentient energies here within the Earth system, close to the Earth, which is provable at this point, then it makes a hell of a lot more sense. This is Venus. Right? And let me just show you a couple other things. This is a star. Ready for this? This is a star.
Oh my gosh. That's beautiful, actually.
It's beautiful, right?
It's
And think
absolutely
about this.
beautiful.
Remember, I showed you we're corkscrewing through the sky. We're traveling 4.5 billion miles a year, never to return to where we were before. Where everything's curving. They tell us that 80% of the stars are binary, which means that they're orbiting each other. Some of them are trinary, so they're doing crazy patterns. We're all moving in all different directions, but never once in all of history have two stars change position. You know, parallax, something close, something far, and when you move, they change position, right? Right? Never once have any two stars changed positions. Never once in all of history. Right?
That's
Never
incredible.
once. Right?
That's incredible.
And these are things that you can go do yourself. This is Beetlejuice. Right?
It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Why aren't we shown this? This is just way more beautiful.
Well, they don't want you knowing that, right? This is another star, and if you this is just slightly past focus, so it's showing us more than by bringing things pre-focus or past focus. You can learn things. Now, remember when they told us about stars? Their stars are born in star factories called nebulas. Right? This is the Crab Nebula that they showed us in elementary school. So this is ready? It's dust and gas in a space vacuum. How do you have gas in a space vacuum? And there's so much of it that it coalesces and creates stars. So the size of this is just, you can't even wrap your mind around it. And the gases will all of a sudden start collapsing and create a star. And then it'll say, okay, that's enough. We're big enough now. That star is complete. And it's going to pop it out and tell it to go park itself somewhere in the galaxy. Wait, why wouldn't the whole thing just collapse upon itself if that's what's happening? And how does it pop the star out? Like a ping pong ball machine, pop, and it just goes and rolls down and parks itself. This is stupid. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. And people just want to believe it. Hey, everybody, a quick message that I'd like to share with all of you. Our lives are filled with toxins in our air, food, and even in the information we're taught. Avoiding them all is impossible, but helping your body detox doesn't have to be complicated. That's where MasterPeace comes in. Just 5 drops under your tongue twice a day, and that's it. Super easy, super simple, and it doesn't even taste bad. I've tried countless supplements, and while generally I'm pretty healthy, I didn't really feel much of an effect. But with MasterPeace, it delivered noticeable benefits. Check out the podcast I did with Terry from MasterPeace, linked below this video, or you can find links directly to MasterPeace on my website, flatearthdave.com, or in the shopping section on the app. The key to health is to detoxify. Now back to the show. People say, what about the James Webb Telescope, right? The James Webb Telescope. Now, I haven't looked at this in a while, but this is this picture and this picture. Which one's from the James Webb Telescope and which one did I create in Canva, a free app on my iPhone?
Oh my God, no way.
Yeah, one's from the James Webb and one's from me. Okay?
Okay.
Right? Here is
he said on Canva.
Yeah. Canva. You know Canva?
God, of course.
Go type in stars, space, and you can make one yourself in 10 minutes. It's so easy.
Oh my God.
So this one is, I actually don't remember if I made this one or if it's from James Webb. I actually don't remember. Right? Here's our friend Jenny. This is her making them. So this is Canva. She typed in galaxy stars, and we'll just do it super fast here, and just putting it all together. Blah 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 blah. Right? And here we go. And there she goes. I mean, that she did that in minutes. In minutes, right? Yeah.
All right. There's a lot here, Dave. So, okay. So for someone like you who really wants to actually teach us something that maybe we've never been taught or looked at before, how do you then go down the rabbit hole of discovering the truth yourself, right? Because it takes, first of all, you're going against, right, a big machine. There's a big machine. and it wants to keep us all in secret for a lot of things. Like, it's just unbelievable this last couple of years how my eyes have been open to a lot of things. And when I was a kid, I always remember thinking, this doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I remember just looking at, like, when we used to go to the beach and just look at the flat, ocean, and thinking in my little head, like, how is the water not jumping off and going in, everywhere? And then I started thinking, well, I guess it's gravity or whatever have you.
Right.
How do you yourself, Dave, go to prove the things that you go to prove? Like, what's that journey like? Because that must be very challenging.
Well, I went out and, as it says in the Bible, test all things, trust no man, men lie. And
Yeah.
and that is a fact. So I actually, when I first heard about this, I just tried to disprove it. I didn't even look for the truth. I said, I'm just going to disprove flat Earth. It's stupid. And the boats over the horizon thing got me, and I went out and bought $1,000 zoom camera, tripod, went down to the beach, had a perfect day, zoomed in on a buoy that was over 10 miles away, and I could see the surface of the water beyond the buoy. Well, the program response is, we're so small, we're like a microbe on a basketball, it would look flat, right? But that's not true. According to globe math, at that distance, that buoy should have been behind over 60 feet of curvature. 60 feet, that's a 6-story building. But I could see the surface of the water beyond the buoy. Okay? So then I'm like, something's wrong with the curvature formula. And I went to the debunking sites to see what they said. And they're like, oh, you share the curve because you're halfway down and it's halfway down, which is stupid. But okay, 30 feet of curvature. How come I could see a 10-foot tall buoy? And, once I got there, I couldn't get away from it. So then I was like, you know what? How does the sun set, right? I can look out over the water and watch the sun. It disappears in the bottom up. Did you know if you're standing up and the water's perfectly smooth and the air is perfectly clear, the sun should intersect with your horizon at just 3 miles away, because there's 6 feet of curvature at 3 miles. If I'm sitting in a beach chair, that curvature should be less than 2 miles away. But when you watch the sunset over the water, you could see boats that are 5-10 miles away in between you and the sun.
Yeah.
But the sun should be intersecting the surface of that horizon, that curved edge, at just 2 miles away or less, right? So I get these moments of inspiration. I said, you know what? I'm going to just try to recreate it. So this is my flat Earth kitchen. Okay. So there's my kitchen counter, right? And I got this line here, and I'm moving the sun along the line. Now this could be mountains, or this could be the cloud deck, but I'm above it. Okay. I'm above it, and we're looking at it from a celestial, an elevated point of view. I have a terrestrial camera on the counter where I started from, and we're going to look at that next, right? We're going to see the same thing from a person's point of view. This line is level. This line here that looks like it's at your eye level is way above it, and this does not go below it. It goes beyond it. Right? Now let's compare that. Now, zooming in, if I told you this line was level, would you agree with me? And that this is not going below this, but it is. It's going beyond it, right? And so look, this is it. This is the sun. It's going away due to perspective. And what's it going behind here? That's what I call the atmospheric deck of opacity. And you think it's Earth curve. It's just going beyond it. And they don't teach you about perspective and how, when you're looking out over the water, the horizon is thousands of feet above your eye level. So anything that's going away that's in the sky will go beyond it.
Right.
It'll go beyond it.
So, the question has to be, can you go to the end of the earth? Will you fall off, or will you hit that wall? What happened?
We're back on our lake in Kansas. We've gone around, and now we started at one point. We went 90 degrees east, and we ended up right back where we started from. So that proves that the lake is a sphere, right? No. So now we're gonna go south. We got our back to the center of the lake, and we're gonna go south. And no matter which south we go, we end up at the edge of the lake. Can you fall off the lake?
No.
So you pull your boat up on the shore, and you get up and you start walking away. All right. Now, so this is a smaller model of the Earth pond, right? And you start walking away from the lake. So you're like a mile from the lake. Now you can't even see the lake, right?
Right.
Now you can't even see the lake. Let's say you keep walking even farther and farther. We could say that land, which we'll call Antarctica, is bigger than all of the lake and all of the continents combined. And the question is, does it terminate, or maybe there's another pond?
Right. That's the question.
Maybe I want to jump to. I just want to show you this one picture about sunsets. This is from a drone or an airplane. And we see the sun over here. Everyone here, down here, it's nighttime. They saw the sunset earlier, but the sun's just over there. It's just moving away. They just can't see it because, think of my flat earth kitchen. They can't see it due to perspective. Right? So here, this is my app. It's called the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. I created it to teach people about flat Earth and to get by the Google censorship. You Google flat Earth, you're not going to find anything. I've done over 1,200 interviews since 2021. Wow. And none of them will show up if you search. Actually, I've been on so many different channels. The algorithm is really having a hard time keeping me down. But they're going to show you my Professor Dave interview with this guy that calls himself a professor. He's really just a failed comedian or a failed musician. And he talks so snarky and he knows math really well. Math is not reality, right? I could do a math equation that shows you have $100 million in the bank. Now go check your bank account. So
I wish.
On the app, I'm going to just type in map and here. So maybe this is our lake, right? You circle around. So this is Antarctica. The question is, what's out there? Now, I'm making no claims, but there's lots of evidence. And I'm going to point to some books that are really cool. What if the world was set up like this, right? So here we are, America, South America, right? Australia. And this is Antarctica. It's like maybe 1,000, 2,000 miles wide, 3,000 miles wide, right?
Oh, wow.
And out here is more territory. More territory. So let me ask you a question. If somebody lived on the extra terra, what might you consider them if they came to visit you in here? Extraterra.
Yeah, extraterrestrial.
Extraterrestrial from where? The outer space.
Okay.
The words have meaning.
Oh, I know.
Okay,
so I know.
Again,
but I thought it was from the.
I'm not
outer
claiming.
Space.
I'm not claiming. Well, outer space is ridiculous. We're going to talk about that in 1 second. But again, these are things that are just concepts that might be true, might not be true. But what if we lived here in the center of this pond? This is our local pond, right? And there's more lands here, and then there's other ponds. And each one of them has their own local sun. So a piece of the plane might be called a planet. I don't know. So this would be where all these other worlds are. They're tens of thousands of miles away versus the closest star to us. I want to give you a chance to win a Bitcoin. You ready? All right. You know what Bitcoin is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's worth $100,000 today, 101,000 today.
Yeah.
All right. So the closest star is 25 trillion miles away. They say it's 4.5 light years, which is about 25 trillion miles away. Do you know how far that is? Do you know how big 1 trillion is?
No.
Okay. 1 trillion seconds. If you can guess it within 2 days, I'll give you a Bitcoin.
So is it 2 days?
No. How long is 1 trillion seconds?
I'm not sure.
To take a wild guess, and then you'll probably be wrong.
1 trillion seconds
is how long?
24 hours.
Close. 31,000 years. Okay. So, but see, this is the point. This is the point. But actually, you were the farthest anyone has ever been. You just won. You had the worst guess ever. Okay. Which is good. I applaud you for that because
so funny.
It makes my point. They don't teach you how to deal with big numbers, right? Big numbers, and a trillion is not a big number.
My bank account proves it.
Yeah, a trillion is not a big number, right? So if we were in a rocket ship going a mile per second, and we went for 31,000 years, we're only 1/25th of the way to the closest star. Do you see how stupid this is?
Yeah.
Okay. And then if we got there and we said, oh, these planets have no life on them or no intelligent life, it's just like the people on Earth, we'd have to go to the next star, which is like 10 times farther. Right. So infinite expanding space, our galaxy, our universe is expanding at 1 billion miles a minute or 1 billion miles a second. They keep getting different answers. Into what? What's it expanding into? I'll tell you what it's expanding into. It's expanding into stupidness in Narnia. Okay. It just doesn't exist. So, if you want to believe in aliens, I love aliens. I love extraterrestrials, other races, right? They're coming from distances. Like if Elon lent us a better rocket that can go 100,000 miles an hour, it would only take us 28,000 years to get there. Okay.
Right,
so that's better.
Yeah. Right. So he's trying to colonize, what is it, Mars?
They're going to come here and they're going to crash in Roswell. Or is it just a day trip from a few thousand miles away in the outer space beyond Antarctica?
That is so interesting.
Right. So on my app, I have a book section, right? I also have a biblical section. This is the biblical section. There's great stuff. This is a great series, Biblical Cosmology Remastered. This pastor did a fantastic job, and somebody added images to his stuff. It was truly amazing. All sorts of biblical stuff here. Marty Leeds does a biblical sermon every Sunday on here. You can watch the live stream. It's amazing. But if I was going to show you, the books. If I go to the book section, and I go to More Land, there's some great books. The Navigator Who Crossed the Ice Wall. I mean, that's right here. That's the one that has that multi-ponded map. But the Iron Republic is a great one. And if you don't have time to read a book, you can just search the Iron Republic on YouTube. There's a channel called The Morgile who read the book, did a great job narrating it. It's like a 5.5 hour video. But if you're driving, you have a commute, listen to it. It's a great book. And basically the bottom line is a politician in the 1800s in New York was sick and tired of the bullshit and sold everything, bought a big ship, got a crew, and was exploring Antarctica. And he found an opening, got sucked in it, and then they were popped out at sea. They were lost for 3 months. The stars didn't make sense. Nothing made sense. And then they saw land. They saw lights of a city. They waited till the morning. And in the morning, a boat came out. The guy's like, welcome. Where are you from? They're like, well, we're from New York, where are we? He goes, well, you're at the Iron Republic. He's like, well, where's that? He goes, well, it's on the other side of the ice wall, about the same distance as America. And they didn't understand. They ended up going there. The story was about an advanced civilization there. They had flat screens. They had a total different money system, just everything. The guy lived there for 10 years. He ended up getting married. He fell in love. And then something happened. His wife died. He got his ship back and he made it back to Florida and wrote the story there. And it was published in Florida Magazine in a series of articles. And you can't find a single copy of Florida Magazine anymore. They're all gone that have these in it.
I was going to say, I never heard this story. Yeah.
Yeah. It's called The Iron Republic. It's an awesome book. And there's a whole bunch of books in there. The Smoky God. There's just all stories about more land. Now, whether that's true or not, they were talking about more land beyond Antarctica in 1901. That's when it was published.
It just kind of makes sense, though. That's the thing. Your brain goes, damn, that makes way more freaking sense. So answer the question, Dave. What's the nefarious thing going on here? You talked already a couple of times about God. And is it to
hide?
Is it to hide God? Is it to hide?
It's to hide God. First, you want to upset a big baby, take his ball away, right? Everything your life is, is around the ball. They say that it's a money grab. NASA is a money grab. Space exploration is more than the music industry, the video game industry, and the movie industry combined, all aspects of it. Yeah. Okay. So it's not about that. That's just about controlling us because they use those things to control our mind. Yeah. Entertainment, which is to hold your mind. Yeah. Right. And, if you live on a ball, you live in a prison because remember we took the bigger map and we wrapped it around and we eliminated everything else. So now you can't even imagine because our imagination and our emotions create our reality, right? And you can't even imagine outside the ball. Remember Truman? I want to be an explorer. And the teacher pulls down the map and goes, no, Truman, there's nothing else to explore. So they've got it so you can't even imagine your true potential.
Well, that was the interesting thing about entertainment, right? Is that they tell you a lot of things in the movies. They just make it sound like it's a movie, right?
Right. Yeah, well, the truth in the movies lies in the news, right? Mm-hmm. And we live in a soul system, a system the creator made for souls to have an experience, but they want to steal your soul with the soul lure system. They're trying to literally lure you away. The thing is, people say, well, what difference does it make? I'm only one person. One person awake doesn't have to give up. They're not allowed to take our free will from us, but we can give it to them willingly. So if they always tell us through revelation of the method, then they're allowed to, take it, because we're not giving it up. So they say, who are they? Well, these are the they that we see. Yeah, the Council of Foreign Relations, United Nations, the Bilderberg Group, Club of Rome, Royal Institute of International Affairs, and the Trilateral Commission. These are the puppets of the real controllers. All of these people, all of our world leaders, they all go to Antarctica at the weirdest times. They disappear for 3 days. They come back to the station and they fly home. Where are they going? I think they're going to talk to the real leaders. I think the fallen angels might be running this world from beyond the shoreline of Antarctica. That's just me. I don't know. Advanced civilizations, there's tons of evidence. Watch my stuff on Kiribati. We found ships that were in the middle of Antarctica. So think about it. If a ship is in the middle, if we see a ship on a ship tracking site, it's in the middle of Antarctica. How can that be? But if you peel it open,
right, then it makes more sense.
And then it makes more sense. And they're going into the outer lands. Let me just show you again, and I'm going to get back to the God thing in 1 second. So if I go to back here, maps, it's the quickest way to find it. This is a map that was found in a Buddhist temple that 10 centuries old. It was published in a Hawaiian newspaper in January of 1907, and it shows all of these continents out here. So if we cut this out, wrapped it around a basketball, all of these continents get crushed into Antarctica. Right? So we saw ships going out here. Maybe there's other advanced civilizations out there. Maybe the Mayans and the Incas and whoever, these advanced civilizations from the past are living out there. Oh, by the way, the Iron Republic, they used to live here in the 1600s, but they got tired of the tyranny. Could you imagine that tyranny? And they moved out to the outer lands. And the captain of the ship's like, why don't you come in and share this technology with us? He goes, why would we? He goes, there's tyrannical, insane psychopaths where we are.
Yeah.
Okay. And so why the lie? The lie is they're hiding God. They're hiding the true power that we have. I'm just trying to find something. Where is it? Where is my reasons to lie? All right. Oh, that's not it. Oh, here we go. There we go. So they're hiding free energy. Imagine if you had a device the size of your fist that could power your car for generations. And
I'm sure that's already out there. I'm sure it is.
And heat your house in the winter to sauna-like state if you like, and in the summer crank up that AC so the windows freeze over. Okay, and it's all good, and it's never going to wear out. It's not as clean. What that would change your life, right? Because we work for energy, right?
Tesla, and everybody who's in poverty's life too,
right? Yeah. Nikola Tesla powered the World's Fair for free, and J.P. Morgan's like, you can't do that. What about my coal mines and my copper mines and my trains and the energy? And they literally killed them. Hide the creator. Hide your spirituality, hide more land, hide more resources, hide scientific knowledge, hide what's in Antarctica, and hide that we're at the center of creation and that we're special. Hide your true ability, right? And here's the thing. The trolls, when you post this, are going to show up in your comments. And you're going to go, Dave's a grifter. He's just trying to sell his $3 app, that uses globe math. It doesn't, right? The globe uses the celestial dome above us we see it in the dome. So they took the angles to the dome and then they related it to the earth. Right? And so they're hijacking reality. And so they're going to come and they're going to say all this stuff, but they will never offer a flat earth proof. I mean, a globe proof. And if you look at their channels, they're empty channels because they have no proofs. Right? Go look at my channel. My channel, DITRH, stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. I've got hundreds and hundreds of videos under 5 minutes. Go to my interviews channels. I have over 1,000 under 1,200 interviews, going over all stuff like this with tons and tons and tons of evidence. Right?
Do you think we'll ever discover the other side?
I think so. I think that that we're literally at the breaking point right now. There's so many big podcasts out there that have been afraid to talk about this, but now that it's becoming more and more, I was on Roseanne Barr, I was on Jim Brewer, I was on InfoWars, I was on Stu Peters. They're all waking up. I'm speaking at the Anarchapulco Truth Conference in Acapulco in February. Anybody wants to go there, go to flatearthdave.com, click the banner. You want a great vacation and to learn about this world, not just flat Earth. It's amazing. I spoke there last year for the first time, and I was thinking, the head of the conference, he knows the Earth is flat for years, and he's like, people aren't ready for it. But last year, he's like, I think people are ready for it. So there's 50 speakers. I figured maybe 10%, 20% of them would be on the flat friendly side. 49 of the speakers were flat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And when I say flat, some of them are like, yeah, it's not a globe. I'm not sure what it is. You're flat. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Flat. The Earth is not flat. It's a topographical plane, but water lies flat. It doesn't curve over a sphere.
Yeah. Well, right? I think that's why they make us think it's ridiculous, because of the pictures they show us of actually flat with the water falling off the edges and, all of that
exactly
stuff.
Exactly it.
Right.
So large bodies of water at rest need containment. Water at rest, when it's cold, freezes. You ever go ice skating on a lake?
Yeah.
So here's a lake, and we got a camera 6 inches off the lake. Right. So when we're on a frozen lake at nighttime, there's no humidity, there's no refraction, right? Because they go like, oh, globe refraction, right? Globers say, oh, the reason you can see that thing is because it's refracting. So we took their refraction model and we said, okay, from 10,000 feet, I want to look at something 24,901 miles away, which is the circumference of the Earth. Right. And so you can slide the refraction bar and it says, oh, you can see it. It's this much refraction. That means I can see the back of my head.
Right.
Okay. It's so stupid, right? So we put these 4 lights out here, 8 miles, 7 miles, 6 miles, and 5 miles away. The Earth is not, that's too small. There's no curvature. Bull crap. According to globe math, there should be, I'm refracting too. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm making these numbers lower. 30, 22, 15, and 9. All right. So look at this. There's 2 options. One, we're on a flat Earth and we're just looking at those and they're all there sitting on the ice. Or 2, I'm here. This is the tangent of the Earth because the Earth drop. And this one's refracting up that feet. This one's refracting up that much. This one's refracting up that much. This one's refracting up 30 feet. And they're all stopping magically at the tangent. Right, at the tangent. Right? They're not refracting up higher. They're not refracting up lower. They're all stopping at the perfect amount to make me think the Earth is flat.
Right.
Okay?
Wow.
It's so stupid.
It's so
stupid. It's so stupid.
You got my brain going. Now I have to go down this rabbit hole. Dave, why did you do this to me?
Okay. I told you today is the day, which is the best day of your life, because it's going to change everything. But here's the thing. I want you to go to my website, everybody, flatearthdave.com. Now the app is $3, right? It's one-time charge. And let me just show you the app. Every day, hold on. Excuse me. Every day there's a daily video. Here's the challenge. I offer 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof, but you have to get the app. And every day there's a video here. Watch the daily video for 2 weeks. While you have your coffee, watch the video. Big deal, right? And then if you want to watch the next video that comes up, it's not going to be a YouTube algorithm video. It's going to be a video that I want you to watch, right? And don't believe anything. Just say, okay, I've watched the videos. I still think the Earth is a globe. But before you send me that proof for the 3 Bitcoins, you have to hit the question mark button. And here are the, hey, why the lie? Where does the sun go? What about seasons? All of these things are explained, and all of the videos in here are being censored from you. Google will never feed you them. If you Google top 10 reasons the Earth could be flat, Google's going to feed you top 10 reasons the Earth is not flat, that it's a globe, right?
Exactly.
So they're not feeding you that stuff. There's more resources. There's the book section. There's gift ideas, really cool stuff.
It's so interesting,
right? And then I have a homeschool section, mind-blowing stuff in here, right? Crow 777 radio. Don't send your kids to college. $8 a month, and they'll be more educated than anybody else.
I can't agree with that more. I'll tell
channels
you
to follow. biblical section. And this is the old world section. I'm guessing you haven't looked into the old world yet.
No.
Okay.
No.
You think flat Earth is mind blowing? The old world. We are at, do you know the movie Idiocracy? Did you ever watch it?
No, I never watched it. I heard of it though.
All right, you need to write that down because it used to be a comedy, but now it's a documentary. Okay, because we're literally in the ending credits of Idiocracy right now.
Wow,
right?
Wow.
But there used to be an advanced civilization here just a couple hundred years ago, like way beyond where we are now. Right. So there's a video here called Old World Order. Turn off Netflix and watch that video. It will change your life forever. And then you're going to walk out in your hometown. You're going to walk to the city and whatever. You're going to look around. You're going to go, how did I never see this? I've been here my whole life. How did I never see this? And you're never going to be able to go outside again without seeing the world for what it is. It's going to change your life forever. There's a channel here.
Thing, though. That's a good thing.
This is called My Lunch Break. You can find him on every platform, just My Lunch Break. But the videos are also right here. And he will blow your mind. Absolutely blow your mind. Jake, I'm the Improbable Dreamer on Instagram. Just check these things out. The giant trees. Probably never looked into that. And if you really want don't click this one. Cabbage Patch Babies. Okay. Don't click that one. You're not ready yet. Okay. Just digest this stuff first. All right. Don't click the Cabbage Patch Babies. God. Okay. Don't click that. Okay. Trust me. You're not ready.
So let me ask you this, Dave. So, I know we're wrapping up, but so do you believe that this proves God more? And B, do you believe in the Bible and what it says in the Bible? Just curious about that.
So that's a great question. And I keep my religious, I'm not an organized religion follower. I think that is just a control. Right. You know, the 1776 Bible had a ton of really good stuff in it, but all the Jesuits and priests and everything got together and they said, we need to remove these sections of the Bible that tell people that God's within them, right? Because we need to be the middleman for them to get to God or we can't control them, right? So that's what they did. God's within us. And so there is tons of truth in the Bible, tons and tons. I don't know how much has been removed. I don't know how much has been perverted, but there is tons of truth in the Bible. And
so you believe there is a God, and do you believe there's a heaven and a hell, or how do you feel about that?
I don't believe. I know there's a creator. I absolutely 100% know.
I mean, there's no way to not know that. I mean, once you look
if you live in a heliocentric ball with the Big Bang that I described earlier, that could be just a Big Bang, or God could create it. But either way, if you want to dilute something, right? If you were in a swimming pool and I dumped a glass of milk in the swimming pool, you'd be like, "What'd you do that for?" But it's going to get diluted. Right? If you dumped it into the ocean, you're not even going to think about it. It's completely diluted. You want to dilute God? Pour him into infinitely expanding space. He's gone. It's like so they don't want a world that people know that the Earth is flat, because if they know the Earth is flat, they know there's a creator. There's no loss. There's no lack of faith, and they can't control people like that. Right. Yeah. So the governments of this world cannot admit that the world is flat, because if they do, they have to admit there's a creator, and then they have to abide by natural God's law, which is basically don't take anyone's free will away, right? Whatever, all those things that will do that.
And to serve one another. Yeah.
And we live in this world where love is what everyone wants. People, I want $1 million. No, you just want to be loved. You want to be free. You want to have, security. And they want us in a world of fear. They want us working our lives until and they want us sick and tired and dying. They don't want us living as long as we're supposed to. And, they want us fighting with each other. They do that because they're harvesting our energy, right? I believe that the controllers of this world have lost the ability to manifest like we do. So they're using our emotions and our thoughts to control us and to create the world that they want, rather than allow us to create the world we want, right? So yes, there's a creator, and that's the number one reason, that they want us literally living in an insane world where we don't believe in a creator, which is the dumbest thing ever.
Right.
Again, don't believe anything I say. Don't believe anything the trolls say that are going to show up on your channel. Don't believe anything. Go verify everything. You can find everything at flatearthdave.com. There's the crash courses there. If you don't want to get the app. Oh, by the way, on the app, 95% of the app is included. But there's a matchmaker where you can find other people. There's the friend finder where you can message people. That is an $11 a year subscription. $11 a year. You ever buy anyone a margarita? Ever?
Yeah.
Okay, it costs you more than $11, right? So look, this is just the people around me right here, right? These are the people that have my app. If we look at where are you located?
I'm in Texas, Austin.
Let's take a look at Texas worldwide. So we'll go here. Yeah, there's a few people in Texas. Okay, Dallas. These are people. We had a conference in Dallas, right? These are flat earthers around you. So you can go on the friend finder. You can say, hey, I'm going to have a meetup. You can alert everyone in your area. You can have a meetup and do all of this stuff. And it's absolutely amazing. On the app, if you get the app right here is a referral section, and you'll have a random number here. You can just create it, and you can just create a referral thing. So anytime you tell someone about flat earth and they get the app, they use your referral, you get a point. 11 points, you can trade it in for a free subscription. Okay. You also, if anyone's into crypto, and if you're not, you should learn about it. And this is a free way to learn about crypto. You also earn a ton of Dome cryptocurrency that gets sent to you every time you get a referral point. And that has a value, and it could have a lot of value. Who knows? But we're giving it out. That's how it's mined. When we open up a mind to the truth, you mine 1.5 million crypto coins that get sent to your wallet.
Well, Dave.
Yeah, there you go.
Holy Toledo fish. Holy cow. Talk about mind-melting conversation. Yeah. I have never in my lifetime, but I have to tell you that it didn't sound crazy to me, funny enough, you know? Yeah. It just melted my mind a bit, but it didn't sound crazy. So I really want to thank you for coming on here and talking to my audience too, because my channel is growing pretty well. And I mean, you're going to probably reach about 200, 300,000 people. So that's a good thing. And I like the challenge. I like the way you made us think. I like the way you phrased it out. You came with the receipts. Okay. You came with the receipts. So I'm definitely going to go on to your site and onto the app because I want to learn more.
flatearthdave.com, and just take your time and ignore the trolls, ignore your family members, ignore your friends, ignore everyone that is speaking from ignorance, right? I am ignorant to everything I don't know, right? But people think that the earth is a globe. When someone says, of course the earth is a globe, and say, what's the radius? What's the circumference? How fast is it spinning? How far is it from the sun? How did they figure out how far it is from the sun? How big is the sun? They don't know any of those answers, but the earth is a globe. Okay. Right. How come we could see too far? Explain refraction to me. How come it doesn't change? Right. And we've proven refraction to be nonsense, to be, the refraction that they talk about. Like according to Globe, if your house was on, the Great Salt Flats, right? And you're on one side of your house, I'm on the other side of your house. At what point, how far do I have to walk for me to appear above your house? Because according to Globe math, I should show up. But that I'm not going to. Right.
So good. Oh, man. Yeah. All right. So the first person I have to talk to is my husband, because he's going to be like, what the hell are you talking about?
No. Don't do that. So here's what you do. On the app, if you hit the web button, by the way, long press any button and it tells you what it does. So the web button is called More Resources. And you just go down to right here. It says full length videos. Okay. Right? And then if you go to the full length videos, the first one is a really cool one, but the second is short. But the second one is called A Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth, 21 Questions. And it answers the top 21 questions in like 3-4 minutes a piece. Right. Okay. And so the way to do it is say, hey, I had this guy on my podcast. He's offering 3 Bitcoins for 1 proof the earth is a globe. I found this video. Help me debunk it. If he watches that video, you literally infected him. Okay. You literally gave him, a virus if it was real. And there's no way to get rid of it. Yeah.
Wow. You must look at the world so differently than most of us. You must look at everything so differently, right? Because you have knowledge that's different. Yeah.
You are never going to be bored again, ever. It's over. The word boredom is gone. And you're probably never going to sleep as much as you want. because you're going to be like, I got to look more. I need more
right,
information.
right.
So,
Oh my God.
Here's the other thing. If someone says, "Hey, I want to take you to this movie on a subject that you think is stupid and it's 2 hours long," you're like, "Oh no, I don't want to do that." But you say, "Hey, I want to watch a 5-minute video," right? So the 5-minute video, they're like, "Okay, I'll watch that," and that's how you get people. So also on here, I have my short videos on here. You have to go to my YouTube channel. I have very short videos, but all the interviews will be here. This is a test version. That's why you have these test patterns here.
Okay.
But your interview will be here. Everything will be here. But what was the point I was making? What did you just say? I just lost my mind.
That your way of seeing the Earth must be just completely different than ours. And you said we are never going to be bored again. You're never
gonna be bored again. And I forgot the point I was gonna make, but there's just tons and tons of information in here. It'll probably come to me after we hang up.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right.
Oh my God. It makes you so curious, right? It makes me want to take a freaking boat and go across the freaking thing and see who else is out there. That's what it does. It makes me curious as hell. Yeah.
There's a thing called the Antarctic Treaty, and no one's allowed to independently explore Antarctica. And that's why they have all of these bases all the way around. If I go here and I just type in treaty, right? The Antarctic Treaty, which is right here. All the countries in the world signed onto it, and no one can go to Antarctica. So you got all these bases all around.
Oh,
right?
wow.
Remember the Falkland Island War, right? The Falkland Islands, that's right here. That's because they have bases here and they're guarding Antarctica.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Dave. Okay. I'm going to keep you here another hour. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. For real. Yeah. This was some kind of amazing conversation, and I'm probably going to end up like down this damn rabbit hole now. And
you're going to, but again, watch Old World Order. You can find it on my website. Yeah, I'm gonna watch some of the videos. I highly recommend getting the app. It also helps support me so I can keep doing what I'm doing. Literally, it's $3. All right, a homeless person can afford this friggin' app, and just educate yourself. Don't believe anything. And by the way, if you think I'm stupid, that must mean that you think the Earth is a globe. That must mean that there's a reason you think that. And if you have a reason and it's valid, you win 3 Bitcoins. That's $300,000. So take my money. Take the money from the stupid flat earther. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. Right. Prove what you're believing. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's simple. But again, you watch when you're under the target, you're getting a lot of flack, and watch the amount of flack that's going to come to your channel when you post this. It's coming, baby.
Thank you so much, Dave. Appreciate it.
All right, no,
really, I appreciate you being here, honestly.
Thanks.
Freaking
you were
amazing.
Great. You
amazing.
Were great. Thanks so much.
Oh my gosh.
Hey everyone, if you enjoyed this interview, please help support my work and help wake up others by referring or gifting the app to at least one person today. By doing that, you're going to help wake people up and help me to continue doing other interviews like this. With the censorship out there that's going on, it's very difficult to find relevant information. And the app, as you know, brings people to the truthful information of our world. So help support my work, help support your efforts in waking up friends, family, and strangers. Gift them the app or just recommend the app. And let's make 2025 the year Flat Earth breaks free. Check the links below for information on how to gift the app or just refer the app to others and use your referral code to earn Dome cryptocurrency and a free subscription. Thanks.